Now, when we know how to use Pyxel basics, let's make a simple but full game. We can do it in just 6 simple steps. Step number 1. Creating sprites in Pyxel editor. Let's start by reusing the game template that we created in the previous lessons. First, we'll create 2 simple sprites, one for the player and another for the coin. And for the player, we are not going to create a new one, we actually will be reusing the one that we created in the previous videos. Using Pyxel Resource Editor, we'll quickly set up these sprites. By the way, if you are not sure how to use Pyxel Resource Editor, I will put a link to the relevant video in the description. Here is our coin sprite and here is our player sprite. Do not forget to save your work, and that's it. This step is complete. Step number 2. Creating a world with a moving player. Next, we are going to create a world with a moving player. The goal is to make something like this. When we press buttons, the player moves in the direction we specify. How do we achieve this? Let's dive into the code. The entry point of the game is the Up class. The Up class initializes the worlds and sets its size. The UpInit method sets 3 parameters: the width of the window in pixels, the height of the window in pixels, and the window's title. We calculate the pixel dimension for our world based on the following setup. In the world class, we define the tile size as 8 pixels. The width and height of the world are set to 16 tiles each. That means the overall size of our window will be 128 pixels. Next, we load our Pyxel resource file. After that, we define our player object. Let's break this down. The player class includes a few helpful constants. Image bank, which is set to 0, and specifies the number of the image bank in the resource file containing the sprite. The player sprite width and height, which are both set to 8 pixels, and the dx variable that defines the player movement speed when a button is pressed. To handle potential rounding errors, which can occur when x and y are not integers, we include a rounding error check. This ensures that game logic isn't disrupted by these small inaccuracies. Next, we define the player image coordinates, x and y, in the Pyxel resource file. If you're unsure how to find this, that means you actually do need to check the Pyxel resource editor video in the description. We then initialize the player's parameters, which are just x and y coordinates. Finally, we define functions for moving the player. These are covered in more details in the video about player movement, so be sure to check it out. Link, you guessed it, in the description. The player object also includes a draw function, which handles rendering the player sprite onto the Pyxel window. Now let's get back to the main function. 2 critical functions run every frame. The draw function, that is responsible for rendering everything on the screen, including player, and the update function, which handles background updates. In our case, it ensures that the player can move when we press buttons. And that is it! With this setup, we'll have a moving player in our game world. Step number 3. Coin and randomizing coordinates. The next step is to draw a player at a random coordinate and also place a coin at a random coordinate. Let's break down how we achieve this. First, let's take a look at the changes in the main program. For the player, we've added functionality to generate random coordinates. This is done using a function that takes the world size and generates a random integer for both x and y. As a result, the player is always initialized at a random position. Next, I've added a coin class. The coin class uses the same image bank, width, height as the player uses, but the location of the coin image is different. It is set to 1. The coin class also includes a similar draw function to the one used for the player. This ensures that the coin can be rendered on the screen. Finally, in the draw function of the main program, we are rendering both the player and the coin. With this setup, we can now generate and display player and a coin at random places. Step 4. Catching the coin. Let's see how we catch the coin and count when it's collected. First, I added properties to the coin and player object, so I could access their coordinates. Second, I made changes to the main program by creating a helper method called hasCaught_coin. This method checks if two objects are colliding. It is based on the same logic explained in the How to Check Sprite Collision video, which you can find in the description. Next, in the update function, I added a check to see if the player has caught the coin. If the player catches it, I create a new coin, replacing the previous one, and increase the score. We're nearly there. If you're still watching it, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Step 5. Adding time to the challenge. Next, we made the coin more dynamic by adding a lifespan. Now, every few seconds, it will move somewhere else. Let's take a look at the changes to the main program. First, we specified the frame rate, which is set to 30 frames per second, and it comes from the world class. Second, in the update function, we added a check to see if the coin has expired. Now, how do we calculate when the coin expires? It's based on the numbers of frames that the coin has been displayed. This is determined by the random time to live variable, which generates a random lifespan between 2 and 5 seconds. Step 6. Completing the game. Now we have the completed game. You have 30 seconds to catch as many coins as possible. When the time runs out, the game ends and your final score is displayed. This is fun, fast-paced and occasionally frustrating experience. How did we make this? First, I updated the main program by creating a frame counter and setting the game length in seconds. Next, I added a function to check if the time has run out. This function uses the same logic as the coin expiration check. In the draw function, the frame count increased with every frame. The first thing is to check is whether the time has run out. If it has, the game displays game over message with the player's final score. And that is it! You've got a fully functioning coin catch-it game. You can find the final code in the repository linked below. It also has some additional improvements. I hope you find this tutorial helpful, and if you have ideas for other tutorials or features you'd like to see for the Pyxel games, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.